Hello and welcome once again to Four Wheels Good. In today's show, Richard Warren will be roaring round the circuit at Oulton Park under the tutelage of the Nigel Mansells Racing School, and we'll be seeing how classic cars get some criminal correction in America. But first, what would we do without the good old road map? Oh, that technology gets everywhere, and this time it's sneaked into the world of navigation. So we set up a challenge to find out whether the newer methods of getting from A to B should be worrying the traditionalists among you. When you last set off on a car journey you'd never made before, how did you find the way? Use a map, ask someone, or invest in a major piece of computer technology with automatic satellite updates? To test out all three, I've come to Accrington, which fortunately I found very easily. And I've got three sets of volunteers who are going to drive to a secret location using different methods. But which will be the most effective? Using a good old-fashioned paper map, the Ordnance Survey Northern England edition, or asking someone the way, in this case the computer programme Autoroute Express, which prints out in advance a list of directions on paper. Or Personal Navigator, a satellite system that updates an in-car laptop computer to show your location on screen at any time. My volunteers are chip shop owners from here in Accrington. Andreas and Andreas, that's easy to remember. Are you ready to go?
Well, I am, but I'm worried about my navigator.
Why?
I've never read a map before.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, there is your map and everything else you need. Good luck, safe driving.
Thanks a lot.
Gary and Janet, I've got a little envelope here for you. How do you feel about this journey?
Fine.
You looking forward to it?
I'd be better if I had a computer.
Well, you've not got the computer, you've got Autoroute.
I know.
All the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Barry, you've got a high-tech personal navigator in your laptop and John to help you organise it. There's your envelope, but don't open it yet. Right, you don't know where you're going, but all I can tell you is there's a slap-up lunch waiting for you when you get there, if they get there. I'm off now, you wait 10 minutes and then follow me. And no cheating, we've got a camera in every car.
Oulton Hotel.
New Brighton.
Merseyside, right.
Going from Accrington, Lancashire on the A679, 4 miles west. So it's towards Burnley.
Towards Burnley?
Yeah.
We head for Liverpool and worry about it then. Right.
So do you know where you're going?
No, just
let me have
leave the map open then. Leave map open.
So we go for the quickest route, shall we?
Yeah, why not?
That symbol in the middle of the screen represents our position, and the positional information is derived from this satellite receiver here. From those satellites we're able to, or the receiver is able to calculate its position accurate to 50 metres anywhere in the world.
We head for Liverpool way.
We're heading for Liverpool.
Down the M62 anyway. Once we get on the M62 to Liverpool,
Then
we can worry then. Time I've been to Liverpool, we went for the passports.
So we've got at least another hour just to do nothing except drive. Show me the way to go home.
Well, if you're interested, we're at an altitude of 462 feet above sea level. We're travelling at 49 miles per hour, and we're 2.5 miles from the junction of the M6 where we want to turn left and head south.
677.
Yeah, that's the one. We're back at bloody Blackburn again.
Oh, gee whiz.
So we've just drove for half an hour for nothing. And then we're back at the beginning again.
We don't go this way.
We do?
So we've got to follow Padiham.
Yeah.
Where's Padiham?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For God's sake, Gary.
Well, you're the one that's been supposed to be navigating, aren't you?
Ferry across the Mersey. What's your signal doing?
Well, we've lost all satellites. Help!
This way. Oh no.
No?
I don't bloody know now.
You're supposed to be watching for me.
Bill, it's pointless just bloody turning off.
Huh? Excuse me, mate. Do you know where Victoria Road is?
There we go. New Brighton, according to this, is straight ahead.
Just go that way.
I can't go that way. It's no good going away. If we could be going that way, we could be going that way. You're better off going asking at that garage there.
Oh, you are first, you are. Here, well done, you did very well.
But Liverpool's that way, we know.
Well, this is little 582. We after this one?
No, it's not on.
Aye?
It's not on here.
Hollands Hay Hotel, here we go, on the left.
And the boys are here.
Oh, we're visiting parts that we've never seen before.
We'd not bloody find it again if we tried. Would we?
No, I don't think you would. That's why a navigator should be sat there, isn't it?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean?
What kind of problems did you encounter?
The only problem we encountered was when we came out of the tunnel, wasn't it? We missed the turning.
It was so easy, it was a bit boring really. I mean,
The two Andreases, 1 hour and 15 minutes, which was quite impressive, using the old-fashioned map-reading method. And this is your first time to New Brighton?
it is, yeah.
Yeah, apart from his aunt living next door but one.
Oh, no. Here they are. Come on in. A bit later than everybody. So what do you think of Auto Route Express?
I don't like that way, like turn here. No, I can't follow
With
it.
your map.
I think we took wrong road when as soon as we took out of Accrington.
Janet, you don't look happy.
No, I'm not.
Well-
You were blaming me all the way there.
That was stressful, I'm telling you.
Well, just to cheer you up and relieve the stress, we've ordered you fish and chips for lunch.
I thought you said you were going to give me £100 there.
To be fair, both computer systems are far more sophisticated than our light-hearted test allowed them to reveal. But a simple map did get there first.
The new satellite systems are already making a big impact, and there's a bonus: fewer arguments. Classic cars, almost without exception, need some restoration work, whatever their age. And in the USA, they've come up with a novel way of getting the work done. They're using porridge.
A head count in what must be the world's most exclusive car restoration shop. This is the prison at Indian Springs, Nevada, where just 40 of the 1,400 inmates restore million-dollar automobiles for the Imperial Palace collection in nearby Las Vegas. Murderers and bank robbers vie for a job in here. It's hard work, but not traditional hard labour.
All right, back to work. Pronto. Oh, yes, Boss. People don't really understand how the program works. They think, well, Imperial Palace has just hired inmates to do work at cheap labor. Well, that's not actually the way it works. The way it works is we hire these guys for minimum wage, and all these guys that are working in this shop in here are all saving taxpayers' money in the private industry or private sector side. They pay room and board, they pay meals, they pay for their clothes to be washed. So I think roughly on what they make in a 2-week period, they might bank about $70 of that, and the rest goes out to pay for things. So it's saving taxpayers a lot of money too by this whole everybody benefits.
But Dave didn't foresee those benefits when the Imperial Palace asked him to set up the project.
At first, I thought my boss, Richie Klein, was completely bonkers. I'd been around some prisons in high school, or we went through for tours or whatever, and those are some pretty hardcore prisons. Of course, I had visions of seeing guys standing here, holding a knife to you, and it's not that way at all. I would rather work with guys in here than guys on the street. They seem like they apply themselves more. People ask me, well, what's it like working with these criminals? Well, the only difference between myself, basically, I shouldn't probably say this, but the guys in here, these guys got caught. Some guys, I say that lightly, because some guys are in here for real bad crimes. Other guys, they just got caught up in something. They got around the wrong people, were brought up wrong, had no family, and they just need a chance in life. And that's what this program helps to offer, is a chance for them to do something and show people they can do something.
With the experience gained here, there's the chance of a well-paid job outside when parole comes around. Inside, only a hand-picked few get the chance to show what they can do.
So how did you get to be on that original team?
We had an interview. We had to have an interview. We applied for the job, and then Dave had an office set up over at the Far Bay, and he would talk to us and see what we knew and how interested we was in the job, and so by doing that, he took it upon himself to say, well, he sounds interested and he doesn't, and he hired us from that, from the way he interviewed us and what little qualities we had. Yeah. But there's a lot of us, who's appreciate that we did get the job. Yeah. We've learned a lot from him, as far as restoration and just different things in a whole, and it's made my life a lot more easier.
Dude, one thing I want to add too is, I was really impressed with the management here. Dave, man, he's a little bit, I'd say, far advanced than most any other guys that restore these cars. He's really good. And
he knows what he's
doing.
And
I figured that I've been taught by the best now.
And the best is only just good enough at Indian Springs. Every car that comes in is carefully taken apart and painstakingly reconstructed. Whatever its needs, the skills are here.
we started out with some real tough cars. They kind of put us through the ringer, myself and the guys in here. But we've graduated now, that's why we're doing a lot of Bentleys, Duesenberg, stuff like that, because the caliber work we've turned out has been pretty good. We've competed in national competition. We had a Duesenberg Beverly that went to Pebble Beach in Auburn, Indiana this last summer, and that's a real big mark.
So even to be allowed to participate is the big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Pebble Beach is an invitation type thing. Well, that's not where you can't, it's not like you finish a car and you just go enter it. You have to be asked, you're invited. So it's kind of like, that's the Ralph Lauren and different ones like that all have cars in it. So, you know, for the guys out here, it was a big time thing, which it was for me too. It's the first time I actually had a car myself that went to Pebble Beach, you know, like that.
OK, they didn't win, but there's lots of time to work on future entries. This is one workshop where a steady turnover of staff is welcomed.
And what's your plans for the future? When are you going to get out of here?
I got probably maybe about 15, maybe 16 more months to go before I get out here, and hopefully that when I leave here, I hope I got a job downtown at Imperial Palace down there.
All right, good.
You know, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, things don't always work out the way you want them to, but I'm trying.
Yeah. And that's all anyone can ask. But it was time to say goodbye to the guys at Indian Springs because, to round off my trip to the Imperial Palace, Dave had promised me a drive in a 1931 J-Class straight 8 Duesenberg. The makers guaranteed it would do over 100 in second gear. Nowadays, it's limited to a sedate turn around the parking lot. After all, there isn't much more you'd dare to do with $1 million museum piece.
A very innovative system of rehabilitation there. And it'd be good to see more of that sort of thing over here. Join us in part 2 when we'll find out how to drive fast but safely down at Oulton Park. Welcome back to Four Wheels Good. There are many people on the roads today that really shouldn't be there. They drive too fast, too dangerously, and risk killing themselves and other drivers. For some, there's probably no hope, but for some others, a course with a racing school can give them the raw materials to become safer at higher speeds.
We're here at Oulton Park in the Nigel Mansells Racing School, which is of course famed for teaching people how to drive quickly on the track. Now of course one of the most important elements of this course is the fact that when you actually come to the course you hopefully will know a little bit about driving, and hopefully by the time you leave the course you'll know a lot more about driving a competitive car quickly, and hopefully that will generate through to your road driving. I have with me Graham Riley, who's the chief instructor here at the Nigel Mansells School. Well Graham, how many people come here to learn how to drive quickly on the road?
I'd probably say about 80% of the people that come here come to drive quickly on the road. When I say drive quickly on the road, I just mean actually improve their driving skills for the road, because we actually teach here a safer way to drive on the racetrack, which hopefully would translate to the road. What we can help people out with here is how to control the car if they got into a problem situation on the road. Also, we can make them appreciate that, you know, once they've actually driven fairly fast and competitively around here in the way that we've taught them, that maybe they don't need to drive as fast on the road, or if they are going to drive as fast on the road, how to do that safer.
And of course today is not one of the nicest days I've ever seen in Cheshire. It's been pelting down with rain, the track is very, very damp and wet and slippery, and of course people were saying to me this morning, oh, we think it's been cancelled. And of course the nice thing about the school is that when it is raining like this, it's a very good experience because it teaches people how to drive in the wet as well. It's not always driving in the dry conditions, so again it's good experience for people who have a little experience of driving fast in the wet conditions.
Yeah, I mean, the wet conditions are ideal. It's, prove to us how good a driver is. I mean, if a guy can lap consistently in wet conditions, and obviously we know he's a good driver, what we can teach people on the roads here is what happens if, for instance, you lock up your front wheels in a slide, what to do then, and to help get out of the slide, and, obviously how to avoid incidents in wet conditions.
So it should be done.
All the instructors we have here at the Nigel Mansells Racing School are professionals. They all, race probably every couple of weeks. We've got touring car drivers, Formula 3 drivers, Formula 4 drivers, and they're all excellent instructors and obviously very fast drivers. That's why they're instructors here.
And of course you yourself have got some experience in Formula Ford.
Yeah, I've done pretty good in Formula Ford in the past.
Don't be afraid of using the brakes. Just get rid of some of your speed before you turn. Now change down at about that point, stay on the brakes, get right up to your turning cone, off and over straight next. Okay? straight the way down, and if you just pull up between the two toes, please. How did that feel?
It's a very much faster circuit than Brands Hatch, I think, this one. It's nice to have all the long straights, I think. And you stay in top gear a lot longer because Brands, you sort of, as you know, going down.
That's right, yeah, you are.
And the brakes on this are strange to me because I've just come out of a car that's got no servo on the brakes, and this is totally different. So I'm just sort of reappraising and thinking I've got to brake harder, and the trouble is I'm lifting off too soon, and the brakes could be a bit sharp, and I felt a couple of places were sort of like, especially coming up into the last bend there, certainly it's very slippery, I feel it going. So.
Yeah, that's right. On the lines, you were turning in too early at some point, or too late, just fractionally past it. Approaching on too tight a line is partly incorporated with turning in too early. No clipping points. You were holding a tight line sometimes coming out, or you were missing the apex, so you were making a tighter turn all the way through the corner. Holding a tight line on the exit, you may have had the first part right, but you were coming out on a tight line like that. And that was both of your problems.
Remember, a racing school can teach you to drive safely at high speed, but it doesn't give you a licence to break the law. And if you are a law-abiding citizen, then your car will have something in common with mine. It's got an exhaust pipe. John Wright has been investigating the manufacture of car exhausts in this week's edition of Inside Motors.
Bosal are one of the leading manufacturers of exhaust systems and catalytic converters in Britain today. They supply both original equipment and the aftermarket. They have plants all over the country, but I've come here to Preston today to their impressive manufacturing plant and warehouse, where there are exhausts as far as the eye can see. Exhausts are something we all take for granted. We only think of them when they're making a dreadfully embarrassing noise and everyone is staring and pointing as we wend our miserable way to the nearest exhaust fitter to have the thing replaced. There is a fair chance that your rusty old pipes originated here in Preston, but when they left the warehouse, they're in pristine condition. So, how are exhausts made? In this factory, huge reels of sheet steel enter at one end, go through the process and leave as an exhaust at the other. Here's where it all starts. This impressive machine takes a sheet steel and gradually creates a curve down the middle of it. And at the far end of the process, welds the two sides together to form a tube. From here, the tube is craned away to a storage area where they wait until they're needed for the next stage in the process. The tube is brought here for bending into the correct shape for your car. also jig checked to make sure that they fit. At this mad machine, the boxes are made. Some boxes have baffle plates, whilst others are stuffed full of ceramic fibres. The pieces are brought together for final assembly and welding, again on a jig for accuracy. So, that's how exhausts are made.
That's it from Inside Motors for a couple of weeks, because we've got 2 specials coming up. So join us next week in the first of those specials, when Richard Warren will be looking at the world of Formula Ford, the breeding ground for Formula One drivers. See you then. Bye-bye.